so I am gonna be doing another talking video. I have a lot to say in this one. So I didn't do my skincare yet, but oh shoot, my iPad's gonna die. Let me get my Barbie music going. I am in LA right now for a tattoo. I would like to film in the bathroom because the lighting is so good. There's like, how do I explain it? The light is around the mirror, so it's like even lighting, but it's just that the sink creates this space that's just too big and I can't see. So I'm gonna be talking about my experience as an Asian American daughter. First of all, I just want to say that I'm gonna go into details a little bit about my personal life, and to anyone I know personally, I'm not blaming you for anything. I'm not accusing you of anything. I fully believe that I myself takes a big part of the outcomes that I'm gonna talk about, and it's just something that I need to talk about, to release and try to find that balance on ground so that I know how to deal with it. And yeah, I don't expect you guys to do anything. I guess, like I said in my past video, whoever watched it, it's just me trying to like reflect, think, try to find solutions, understand it a little bit better. So that's why I'm talking about it. So because I'm in LA to get a tattoo, that's kind of what inspired this video. The first thing I want to talk about, I can't even see, is that our values differ. I wrote down that it's pretty stereotypical to value education. It's kind of what my family values a lot, especially my parents. I am a college student. So far, everyone in my family has gone to college besides my dad. But yeah, it's always just like so that we can have a better life, right? Have a good life with a degree. And I don't disagree with that. I also value education. But the thing is, how much I value it is not as much as how they value it. Like, a lot of my siblings value education a lot. But for me, I have different values in a different order, right? I kind of value happiness more. And I'm not saying that education doesn't make me happy. It definitely does. I love being a college student. I love going to school. I love my school so much. Like, even though I'm going to just a CSU, I'm happy with the one that I picked. Like, if I could go back in time and change it, I wouldn't change it at all. But because I value happiness more, I don't really put education first. And my education does make me happy, but I think an issue that I have is that I search for short-term happiness, and you know, that doesn't really go anywhere. Like right now, because I'm in LA to get a tattoo, my parents don't really agree with the decision, especially, and my family as well, just because of the money. My tattoo that I'm getting, it was originally gonna be $600, but I changed the design and the placement and the size, so it's gonna be around $500. He's not sure yet because I'm not necessarily sure, and he was like, oh, when I come, he can try different sizes, like printing in different sizes, and we can talk about it then. But yeah, that's just something short on values. I don't think I have anything else to say. Besides like short-term happiness, like I wanted to ride a motorcycle. For a fact, I know that my parents wouldn't agree to it just because it's dangerous. And yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not dangerous. I understand the risks that comes with it, but I'm willing to take those risks because it just seems like it'll make me happy. It seems like it's gonna be fun. And I did take the MSF course and I really liked it then. Moving on to dating. My parents prefer someone who's the same ethnicity as us. We're Hmong, right? And they would like me to have a Hmong boyfriend. But I'm just not very attracted to Hmong guys. I don't know what it is. Which is weird, because at first, I mean, in high school I was, until the end of high school, I just don't see the appeal. And I'm not like trying to like say anything bad about them. It's not their fault. It's just my own preferences, right? And it's funny because I have this keychain in my car that I got from Miniso, and on it says Meng, M-E-N-G, and there's like a ball and a little bunny floating inside it. My parents borrowed my car to run some errands, and they saw it. And when they came home, my mom was like, "So who's Meng?" I was like, "What?" Because I was not talking to anyone like that. And I was so confused, and she was like, oh, because in the car, you know, it says Ming, and I was like, oh, I'm like, that's no one. I don't know anyone by the name Ming. She was telling me how my dad and her thought that that's the name of my Hmong boyfriend, and I was just, it was a funny story. I felt a little like I was kind of disappointing them. I actually don't know why it's there on the keychain, but yeah, because Ming is a Hmong name, right? It can be a Hmong name. I've always thought about what life would be like if I was dating someone who was Hmong, just because I've had my experiences with non-Hmong boyfriends, and it's definitely different. I've considered it. I'm open to it because we're the same culture. I can be saying all this, but I'm actually very proud of my background. I like where I came from, and yeah, I would agree that it would be much easier if I was with someone who's the same ethnicity, came from the same background, same culture. It's not a big deal, but especially when it comes to food. I love Hmong food, and I only know how to make Hmong food for the most part. I got lucky with my ex because he would eat anything, and he ended up really liking the food I made. But I had another ex who was like, he was white and he didn't really eat Asian food. And yeah, it's not a big deal, but I think about it just because, like, if I were to somehow get married, how is life gonna be like? If like, oh, I'm trying to cook, but I don't know how to cook. I mean, I can always learn. I love cooking, but I love eating Hmong food more. And I guess it's not a big deal to be making like different things, but that's just not how I grew up, right? I like my family, we all just eat the same thing, we share. Anyways, moving on. Oh, okay. Talking about the dating thing, the Hmong guy experience. I want my parents to be happy for me and happy with the person that I'm with. And they were in the past, okay, sort of were in the past. My most recent ex, they were kind of accepting of him. It was like, okay, I'm with him, what can they do about it? But my first boyfriend, oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. It was long distance, and my dad didn't believe in the relationship. He was like, it's not real, you guys never gonna meet. So he just completely ignored him pretty much. And yeah, he was right, we never met. But I wouldn't want my parents to be that way. And granted, they weren't when I was dating my in real life boyfriend in person. So I mean, I don't think they'd be that way, but I would want them to be happy. And I know I don't owe it to them to do this for them, because I am my own person and I'm not dating for my parents, I'm dating for myself. But it's just a different type of feeling when you know your parents don't completely agree with your choices. I also kind of want to listen to them because they kept telling me I was wrong about my ex-boyfriend. They're like, you guys are not made for each other, okay, they didn't say that, but pretty much they're like, do you really want to end up with him? Do you want to marry him? Can you imagine life with him? They're like, it's not gonna work, it's only for fun. And yeah, they're saying how like he's not gonna love me forever, it's different and everything. And I was just like, okay, whatever, it's just things they always say, but they end up being right about him. So I kind of want to listen to them. Because yeah, we're not together anymore, and yeah, he did not love me like that. Alright, the next topic that I have, the next section, I just wrote stuck, let me see. So the first thing that I wrote down was that I constantly feel like I can't be myself around my family, which is partially true. I feel like, I've told my siblings this, I feel like the black sheep of the family. Because like I said, I don't value education, I don't care about it as much as my family does, and so that makes me look really bad. Like right now my GPA is so low, it's so sad, and it's something I wish I could change. If I could go back in time, oh my god, I wouldn't have dated my ex, because he definitely contributed to how much time I was putting into my education. Especially after I had my baby, I couldn't focus on school when there was so much going on. And my mental health was so bad. I'm not trying to blame it on that, but it's like I would go to school and I wouldn't even want to be there. Didn't want to learn. I didn't want to do my homework. I didn't want to study. As much as I may have liked the class, it was really hard to do when you're mentally not feeling well. The next thing I wrote down, I also feel like I'm being judged for the decisions I make in life. Talking about that tattoo thing, again, it was a financial thing. I felt very alone. In the week that I was talking about it with my family, it was like, it almost felt like everyone was against me. But I would agree, they had a really good point. But when it comes to family, I just kind of expected more of a support system. I think that's what a lot of people expect from a family, because they're your family, so they're always gonna be there, right? I know some people, it's gonna vary for everyone, but my family is very close-knitted. We're we value family. Even my non-immediate family, we're like really close. Oh my god, this is so bright. It's okay, I think it will like calm down. Let me even it out. But I couldn't help but feel like even my non-immediate family was judging me when I got pregnant. Like, oh, she's pregnant with a non-Hmong man who she's not even married to. Because my family's kind of traditional, I thought that people would be thinking that way. Even though no one's actually said it to me. I got over it now, but it was a thought. It's also because like Asian families, oh my god, the gossip is crazy. So I kind of expected people to be talking shit about me once I got pregnant. Again, I have no actual proof of this, it was just my thoughts. But then I feel like I might be right because I heard from someone that like someone who I'm not even close with. I would say we're like acquaintances, we follow each other on social media, but I heard that she was talking about my pregnancy in a bad way. And I was very surprised because I don't know this person like this. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I was expecting it. I just actually hearing it was shocking, especially from someone who I'm not close with, someone who's not even my family. She just happened to be the same ethnicity and we know each other from school. But yeah, I don't want to go into details about that. It doesn't bother me anymore. It just made me see this person in a different way. The next thing I have is accomplishments and comparing. Oh my god, everybody hears this and it's so true. Comparison is such an Asian thing to do. Constantly comparing your kids to other typically Asian kids. Now that my mom's getting older, I've noticed she's doing it a lot, like comparing us to our cousins, and it did make me feel some type of way. It felt like I wasn't what my parents wanted, especially my mom. My dad never really compared us, except when it comes to education, because he's trying to like make a point. He's like, look, they didn't go to school and look at what they're doing, or look, this person went to school and look how well their life is going. So that was the only comparison my dad ever did, I think. But an example is like how my mom was telling us like, oh, our cousin is so beautiful, she's doing all this modeling, look at her pictures, it's so pretty, her photographer is some Hmong photographer. And I think that definitely influenced my younger sister too, because my younger sister is the same age as that cousin, and it was around senior photos time, and so she was kind of telling my younger sister that she should get a Hmong photographer so that her pictures will turn out good. And I agree, the photographer she picked, the pictures are really nice, but it just made me feel some type of way. Even though like the situation didn't involve me, it's like I almost felt like my mom wished we were more like that. Like we would dress up more, we would model, look pretty, because me and my sisters, we don't really dress up like that. And I'm not like shitting my cousin. I definitely agree, she has really beautiful pictures and she's good at what she does, but we're just different people. But it just made me feel like my accomplishments weren't that big of a deal to my family. Like for example, I'm the first to get a job while I'm still in school, and I just like, I know that's not a super big accomplishment, but to me it was, especially when my whole family was kind of against it because they thought I wouldn't have time for everything going on in life, school, my job, right? But I was able to balance it out. Granted, I didn't really care about school. That's one thing I kind of regretted, but I talk about it a lot. It was just not the right major for me, so I didn't really like the classes like that, and I did prefer my job a little bit. It was fun. I guess it's not really like my big accomplishments, just little things that I do. I wish I would have more support in, like, I guess just more support on. I think that's why I'm not used to like compliments and praises. So, okay, next thing I have is that I'm constantly feeling like a disappointment. I already talked about this, but I wrote down that I see myself as the black sheep because I'm very different from my siblings. Sometimes I think like, oh, there's literally 6 of us and it doesn't matter what I do. Like someone else will please my parents, someone else will do whatever is best. So that's kind of how I view it. For example, dating a non-Hmong person, especially when my younger sister was dating someone who was Hmong and I was not at the time, it just made me like, yeah, someone else is gonna do it. And then other examples like, oh, I wanted a cat, my tattoo, I want to ride a motorcycle. It's just stuff that my family doesn't agree with, but someone else will not want a cat, someone else will not want to ride a motorcycle, and someone else will not want a tattoo. And I feel like I'm slowly becoming my own person, and I kind of like that for myself. And I'm not trying to like shit on anyone, but because everyone is their own person, right? I'm going to be someone who I really like. Everyone has their own struggles, and so I'm proud of myself for overcoming my struggles. That's all that matters to me. What else did I put down? Oh, money. I am so bad with money, and I feel like the biggest disappointment when it comes to money. It's something that I'm trying to change, but it's so hard to change when like I value short-term happiness so much. Maybe I shouldn't value short-term happiness, but with everything going on in life, I like short-term happiness because it brings me enough joy momentarily to overcome my struggles. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but right now it's something that works. It's not something I agree with, it's something I'm not happy with. I feel like that says something. But yeah, because I'm so bad with it, I'm very reluctant to ask my parents to borrow money. So I tend to ask my siblings, which makes me feel even worse. I feel like I shouldn't be asking in the first place. But that's one reason why I got a job while I was in school, because I knew that I chase after short-term happiness, and I knew that would mean a lot of money. And because I was in school and I was renting an apartment with my sister, I would have to get a job to be able to do my short-term happiness stuff. And like when I say short-term happiness, when I was in school, that would mean like going out for fun, going shopping, buying things that didn't matter, buying clothes, some makeup. And at the time, because I was dating, you need money to go on dates, right? That's not all dates, but sometimes, right? Like we would get food, we would go watch movies. That means money. I'm not sure why this point is under this subject, but I wrote it down anyways. So I'm gonna talk about it. I feel like there's this constant need to make my parents happy. I think about it a lot. And some people might be like, why? Like, you're an adult now. But when I think about what they went through in the life that they've given me, my siblings, I feel like I owe it to them to make them happy at the very least with what I'm doing with my life. And sure, I'm my own person. You know, when they had me, I'm not responsible to make them happy. Like, some people might say that about having kids, right? You're having kids and you're supporting your kid. It shouldn't be your kid supporting you. It shouldn't be your kid trying to make you happy. You need to support them and their happiness, their dreams, their goals, whatever it is they want in life. You should support them because you've given life to them, and so they don't owe you anything. You made the decision to have them, right? Some people might think like that, and I kind of agree with that. So I think that I would follow that, especially when my daughter starts growing up. I'm gonna just try to support her as best as I can. Like, I wouldn't say she owes me anything, for sure. But I think it's because both of my parents are immigrants. So I feel like, especially with my dad's backstory, hearing it, oh my god. Like, I'm so emotional these days. Especially with my dad. Like, he can be saying whatever and I, like, would feel the need to, like, start crying. That's just kind of, I guess that just kind of says that, like, I very much adore my dad. And I would feel bad that he went through all of this and his child is such a disappointment. Especially since my dad's parents died when he was young. So and he doesn't have any actual siblings. He has a lot of half siblings, but no actual sibling stuff. So he doesn't really have any immediate family anymore. And it just makes me feel like shit sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm kind of privileged, and here I am doing all this stupid stuff. And it would hurt me the most to disappoint my father because of that. That's why when I got pregnant, I was so scared to tell him, because my dad's pretty traditional, and I was pregnant, unmarried, with, again, like a non-Hmong man. I say it a lot, but like, oh my god, I couldn't even tell him. I asked my mom to tell him that. And thinking back about it, I wish I told him myself, even though I would probably cry. And it doesn't help that, like, I'm starting to not know how to speak my language. Mom, I want to speak my language with my dad. He is fluent in it, and I want to be fluent in it too. He understands English and he speaks English, but it just doesn't feel right. Like, I grew up speaking Hmong to my dad. I remember one time he like came home and started speaking just English to us, and it was so weird. So I asked him in Hmong, I'm like, Dad, why are you speaking to us in English and not Hmong? And he's like, oh, I thought you guys didn't know Hmong anymore. I was like, oh, I could never. Of course I would know Hmong. And so yeah, that's something I wish I would never forget. It would make me really sad because I don't want to be speaking English to my dad. It doesn't feel right. And that's why I really want my daughter to learn Hmong. I'm trying to teach her as she's growing. Even though I don't really speak Hmong to her, that's kind of bad. I try to whenever I can, but because I also speak English, I mainly speak English, right? So I just end up speaking a lot of English to her. She knows a couple like Hmong words, Hmong baby words, I guess, like momo for milk, mama for food, koko for sleep, uma for kiss. So I'm feeling kind of hopeful because I would want her to speak to my parents in Hmong. I think my dad would really like that. That kind of got off topic. I didn't even write that down. So let me see what I have written actually. Alright, the last thing I have is that I want to surround myself with similar people. I wish I can make more friends, but because of my past relationship, I can't really anymore. Like, I don't know how to make friends. When I was with my ex, he didn't allow me to have any friends, which kind of sucked because it was a perfect timing for me to make friends. I moved to a new city, I'm going to college, I'm meeting all these new people, but I couldn't really stay in touch with them and I couldn't even hang out with them. My ex would always accuse me of cheating on him whenever I wanted to go out with friends. He'd be like, you're out way too long, what are you doing? And if it was guy friends, he would be like, okay, no, you're doing something with them. If it was girlfriends, he would be like, okay, no, they're influencing you to do something behind my back. And eventually I just couldn't go out anymore. And it sucked because I would always have to leave early. I'm not sure, but I probably felt like I didn't want to be there. I really did. I know I didn't have to listen to my ex, but I did anyways. So that's one thing I'm struggling with in life. My social skills has just gotten so bad. They've gotten good, but like one-on-one socializing and making friends, I don't know how to do. And I posted about this. My cousin was like, just say hi to people. I'm like, I know, but it's so hard. I think it's even harder because my social battery is very low these days. As much as I want to make friends, it's hard to keep in touch and to socialize and interact with them. And my mental health is not at a good spot to be maintaining relationships. Like, I just kind of want to focus on myself. That's kind of why I took this solo trip, just to get away from everyone, just be by myself a little bit. And I miss living alone. It was so nice coming here. I was so excited, even though the drive was like super long. Honestly, I don't like how this makeup look turned out. Alright, I think that's it for this video. I just want to say that, God damn it, I had a really good thought earlier. I'm not upset with anyone. I don't blame anyone for anything. I think I just need to understand how to take care of myself in this new chapter of my life. And I need to get my... there's this saying, I'm gonna get it completely wrong. I need to get my... Basically, I just have to figure out what's important and figure out the order. I'm always gonna try to become a better person. I think I've come a long way and I'm really happy with myself. Like, oh my god, when I was in middle school, I had so many friends, but I was so quiet and awkward, and I'm like very shy, so I didn't really speak much. I honestly don't even know how I made friends. I'm better with that now, until I realized I kind of wasn't. When I was in my first year of college, someone in my dance club had asked me to like I forget why we were trying to get this guy's attention. He was the treasurer of the club. We were trying to get his attention, so she was like, oh, just shout his name. But I couldn't even do it. Like, he was right there. But it was probably because we were outside and there's a lot of people. I hesitated. I couldn't shout his name, so she just shouted his name instead. And I felt so stupid. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about what it would be like if I didn't have bangs anymore. Or glasses. I feel like I need my glasses now. My face, it makes my eyes bigger. I feel like it draws attention to my eyes because my face is really big and round. And like my bangs and my face framing pieces helps with that a little bit. Anyways, I've been talking on for way too long. Thanks for watching this video. And yeah.